On January 7, 1998, the former ECOMOG commander, Major General Samuel Victor Malu, returned to Monrovia on a farewell visit to ECOMOG brigades. General Malu was ECOMOG commander from 1996 to 1997, and in that time he was credited with bringing the warring factions to a complete standstill and conducting a free and fair election, one which produced Charles Taylor as the democratically elected president of Liberia. He was redeployed as General Officer commanding 2nd Mechanized Infantry Division in 1997, and in January 1998 he returned on a farewell visit tour of the various ECOMOG brigades in Monrovia. At different intervals in this video, I'll be reading from his autobiography titled In the Name of Victor to give more depth to the video. If you enjoy this content, please give us a like, drop a comment and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next video.
Sergeant Godwin Obebe. Those provided by CAMP, 7 ECOMOG Brigade. Those ready for your inspection, sir. Up. Fine, sir. Morning, sir. Fine, sir. Permission to dismiss the guards into the guard room, sir.
Well done, carry on, please.
Sir, please, pause! Remove the guards into the guard room. Sir, please.
My first contact with Liberia was in 1992, when I was appointed the Chief of Staff of ECOMOG and the Nigerian Contingent Commander from June 1992 to June 1993. My deployment to Liberia marked a significant turning point in my career. Though I had trained for warfare, I had never been to war. I spent most of my time doing what soldiers do in peacetime, training, attending courses, and doing administrative work. But all the while, a part of me had been itching to see combat. so I was excited when I was posted to Liberia. I finally had a chance to practice what I'd been trained for, a chance to fight. It may well be that after years of doing administrative work, I, in a strange way, needed the thrill of war. As I prepared for Liberia, my mind continued to race with thoughts about the dangers of war and what I had learned at the Nigerian Defense Academy. On October 15, 1992, Taylor's NPFL attacked Monrovia. The factional fighting was so intense that I never believed I was going to make it back to Nigeria alive. We took fire from all angles, and it was difficult to ascertain who was shooting at us. The warring factions consisted of thugs with no formal military training. These thugs, finding themselves in unsupervised and dangerous situations, unleashed havoc and mayhem on society. Everybody along their way had to be mowed down or butchered, including women, children, and ECOMOG peacekeepers. In the confusion that ensued, ECOMOG troops remained calm and displayed extraordinary courage in the face of danger. The battle raged on for 4 days until ECOMOG troops recovered from the shock and started to overpower the NPFL. In the end, we succeeded in closing rebels out of Monrovia. It was when it became obvious to Charles Taylor that he could not assume leadership through violence that he decided to go back to the negotiation table. After 1 year, when it seemed as if we had achieved our objectives, I was posted back to Nigeria.
None achieved the greater height that you did. We feel proud of you.
In 1996, I came back to Liberia, this time as the ECOMOG Force Commander. Prior to my appointment, ECOMOG had been blessed with fine commanders, including Lieutenant General Arnold Queno from Ghana, who served as the first ECOMOG Force Commander. Lieutenant General Joshua Dogonyaro, who served from 1990 to February 1991. Lieutenant General Rufus Kopolati, February 1991 to September 1991. Major General Ishaya Bakut, under whom I served briefly as the Chief of Staff from September 1991 to October 1992. Major General Adetunji Olorin, with whom I served until my posting back to Nigeria in June 1993, October 1992 to October 1993. Brigadier General John Mark Inengi, December 1993 to August 1996. Going to war is never an easy task. Having to stand between two mortal enemies bent on killing each other was even more problematic. Liberia presented a unique set of problems. The warring factions consisted of thugs, criminals, and hoodlums who had no respect for human life. They only cared about taking control of the machinery of government by any means necessary. When I received my assignment, intellectually I felt I could handle it. After all, I had received my training in the art of warfare from some of the finest military minds in the world. Emotionally, however, I entertained some elements of self-doubt. Would I make it out alive? What if my troops failed to live up to their training? What about my family? Whatever I felt did not matter very much. I had my orders to move and I had no choice. I put together my belongings, made some phone calls, talked to my wife and family, and went to bed. I slept fairly well for some time, only to find myself awake and again lost in thoughts. If I failed, my generation and indeed history would be very unkind to me. I quickly numbed up doubts by reminding myself that I had voluntarily chosen to join the army and that war was part of the process and indeed a rite of passage for any soldier who wished to make his mark in battle. If I did well, I could join the exalted rank. These comforting feelings overpowered whatever doubts I had and I dozed off. I woke up the next morning feeling very good. I got ready, packed my suitcase, and drove to the airport to board a military aircraft due to convey some supplies to Liberia. The 4-hour flight to Liberia was uneventful. I was met at the airport by Brigadier General Mbe, from whom I was to take over as Chief of Staff and Nigeria Contingent Commander. After 2 weeks, I met with military commanders on the ground and reviewed our operations. I had approximately 5,000 soldiers under my command, drawn from different West African countries. I also met with a detachment of soldiers and addressed them on the need to be vigilant. Upon my arrival in Monrovia, I addressed the troops at the ECOMOG base. As I addressed them, I took notice of all kinds of expressions on their faces: fear, readiness, and determination. Each soldier stood by himself, equipped with the knowledge and training he had received from his country. I didn't expect the level of readiness or discipline to be the same with every soldier, since the ECOMOG was made up of different West African countries. The curious and concerned look on their faces made me even more determined to give them maximum protection and direction. They should not needlessly be exposed to avoidable danger and risk. I saw determined soldiers who were ready to kill or die to bring peace to a troubled land. They looked very calm. I do not know the source of their calmness. It may have been their training that had prepared them for the mission on hand. It could have been their appreciation of the nobility of their task.
Command of the ECOMOG stands for what we are doing, so it was not just my policy. ECOMOG is not here handed over to another country to operate under them as an army of that country. In a sense, I'm saying that we are not supposed to be the armed forces of Liberia. We are working to support that government, but our loyalty is to the ECOWAS authorities and to our various countries. We have tried to project this, which has brought us in headlong collision with the government. That I'm going does not mean this is going to change. It will remain like that to the last day when we leave this place, either for Sierra Leone or for various countries, depending on the decision of the ECOWAS authorities. I want particularly to thank you. I know you very well. You served with me in several capacities. And the way you, within a very short time, settled down to fully start the command of the complicated brigade that have been formed for you people. As you all know, these are not regular brigades in the sense we know. But this is the exposure that an officer needs in order for you to go back and tell somebody some of the experiences that you gained on this type of missions. I want to thank you, to thank your officers for the total loyalty that has been shown to me, to the cooperation I've received from every one of you. And I want that extended to my successor, who happens to be a personal friend, a colleague, a coursemate, and somebody that I can vouch for. I believe that our tenure of duty within the sub-region is not going to go beyond that April. I believe that in a matter of days, we'll be getting the decision as to our fate in Liberia. The government of Liberia has made it categorically clear that 2nd of February, ECOMOG will no more be ECOMOG as we know it. I think they said they are going into bilateral arrangement. I don't know what that means, but we'll wait and see what comes out. But as military officers, we are in full gear preparing to get out of this country by the end of January. 2nd of February is just a matter of expression. If it is possible for us to leave before 31st of January, that's what we're working towards achieving. Since I've been talking to the troops, I don't need to go too much into this, except to say that I want to wish yourself, your officers, your soldiers, a very new happy year, better dedication and commitment. We are almost there. The last time I came here, what I told the soldiers, which came true, was that we can at least tell somebody that at a particular date or point in time we'll be leaving this region. We were able to achieve that in Liberia. It's unfortunate that the situation in Sierra Leone came up while we were still here to have warranted our extended stay. But even in Sierra Leone, the timetable is drawn. We intend to keep with it. That we have not started the disarmament does not mean the terminal date of the junta in Sierra Leone is also going to be extended. It still remains 22nd of April. So I'll be conveying this same message to your troops when I go to see them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Abdul, I hope you are going to give me excess luggage ticket. Between you and Joe.
Sir, permit me once more to, on behalf of 7 ECOMOG Brigade, to present to you this small token gift as a mark of remembrance. Thank you, sir.
I'll give you your gift when you come for my send-off.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, at least they maintain the cleanliness of the general area. Is that 27 kVA? What are the 30 kVA or 50 kVA?
The 50 went bad and was repaired. Then the 27 is temporary was withdrawn 2 weeks ago.
Why?
Well, a letter came from ECOMOG office. Signed by
a generator to the headquarters.
Yes, sir.
Let them bring it back. How can a brigade headquarters not be served with the visitor? I think they must have mistaken that it was meant for one people. They say they can get through, that they can support to do this job. Honestly, but for the sacrifices were made here and the sympathy that one has for Liberians, we would have wanted to go out even in a civilized manner and see how this week. Red Chop!
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, officers and men of 7 ECOMOG Brigade Group formed up. 25 officers, 150 other ranks. Ready for your address. Lieutenant Colonel Emiya Samuel, Jambat 14, you reporting. Sir.
Thank you very much. Stand them at ease.
Ready! Standard! Hey!
Good morning, all of you.
Morning, sir!
I've come again to see you, this time not in such a happy mood like the first and last visit I made when I came on my familiarization visit. I came in precisely this morning to say farewell to you on my redeployment from the ECOMOG back to Nigeria as a general officer commanding one of the divisions. The posting or redeployment took me just unawares, like every one of you would have been taken unawares. We have worked together from 22nd of August 1997 when I came here, 22nd of August 1996 when I came here till today. Our expectation was that since our mission both in Liberia and in Sierra Leone terminates by April next year, I was going to get that opportunity of working along with you to finish, hug ourselves, say bye-bye to ourselves, exchange our addresses to our in our various countries so that we can go out from here together. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Well, life must still go on. On this farewell visit, I took the liberty of coming with both the DFC-1, General Kwateng, and the Chief of Staff, General Abdulwan. And it was not by mistake that I came with them. The reason is to assure you that the policies that we have been pursuing in our peacekeeping effort, both in Liberia and in Sierra Leone, will not change on my departure from the mission area. We have achieved a lot, and the whole world has commended us. We have to pursue the same policy that enabled us to achieve the measures that we have already reached here in Liberia. I came particularly to say thank you to all the officers, all the soldiers of ECOMOG.
You have made me proud. You have made your countries proud. You have made the ECOWAS proud. The achievement you have made in the region here, not only in Liberia, but what we are doing currently in Sierra Leone, is something that has never been done before. I know in the process the inconveniences we have gone through. We have lost some of our colleagues. We have been taken ill. We have suffered a lot of humiliations from the same people that we are supposed to be supporting. Those things, you should not count them against anybody. That's part of the hazards of military operations. These are things that make the difference between a disciplined soldier and what in my country we call the idle civilian. I'm asking you to redouble your effort. We're already in January. We have only up to end of April by which we hope to be leaving for our various countries. We have not been able to start the operation in Sierra Leone as we had planned, but the main reason is the delay in the decision of the ECOWAS authorities on our movement into Sierra Leone. I'm expecting that within the next couple of days, that order for us to move en masse into Sierra Leone will be coming. I want you to do this with all sense of professionalism like you have done here. I can assure you one thing. The Sierra Leoneans are not crazy. If we move into Sierra Leone with the type of force that we have planned for, and with the type of equipment that we have already received and that they're on the ground, nobody is going to dare take a shot at you. I know this from experience, and I can tell you now that I'm leaving that was why we achieved peace here in Liberia. If we had not beefed up our strength as we did, if we had not shown that capability, that ruthlessness, that toughness, if we had not shown that we're capable of firing back and firing effectively, we would have still been sitting here complaining. We demonstrated to the world that the troops of the sub-region are properly trained, properly equipped, have the will and the determination, they have the guts to deal with anybody. The warring factions in Liberia saw that and respected us. This is the same attitude we are going to carry into Sierra Leone, and we achieve the same measure of success. My regret is that having come this far, I might not have that opportunity of leading you. I feel very bad about that. But as I said, my officers of the High Command are all going to still remain there. And this is the main reason why I came with some of them, so that you are sure that ECOMOG is not dismantled. I am just a single person that is going out. And then a word about my successor. He happens to be a colleague, a personal friend, a course mate, somebody we've been together for the past 31 years. I can assure you that the policies we're executing here are the same he's going to follow. So he's not going to let us down. He will not let you down. He will not let your countries down. And together we shall not let down the ECOWAS. I wouldn't have much to say except to say that in this new year, I wish you everything that you wish for yourself. I wish you God's protection. I wish you God's guidance. And I wish that by the end of April when you are leaving, I might also have the opportunity of coming to be a part of the celebrations to celebrate with you while you are leaving Sierra Leone. Thank you very much.
Rain! Rain! Cow! Raid will remove headers. Remove headers! 3 happy cheers for the outgoing force commander, Major General SVL Malu, DSS, PSC, MNI, FWC. Hip, hip, hip! Hooray! Hip, hip, hip! Hooray! Louder now. Hip, hip, hip! Hooray! Replace cadre. Sir, your farewell address is over. May I have your permission to dismiss the brief? Sir.
Thank you very much. Well done. Carry on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll go straight there. I thought we were going to.
You see, they did the change without.
No, the RIA didn't come out on time.
That's
If you go there, you might not meet anybody. Maybe from VOA.
We are going to BOA now.
If there's time,
Yes, sir.
you can still find them. Yeah.
So Daniel is fond of formality.
Yeah, we have to cut him on it. I'm leaving here by what, 10 o'clock. Kobe is making breakfast.
I will give you when you
Planning range about 30 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, thank you, gentlemen. Hey, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
Come
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Well done, job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let them make a turn.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Johnny.
We hope that peace will reign in Liberia now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We believe we are having good time with our soldiers around here. Yes. You want us to leave them here or we want them to go?
Leave them here.
We'll tell them.
How can you take them to a place?
Look at him. I have a signal there.
No, even I've seen
Something very conspicuous.
the troops on the ground, but I've seen them.
We're standing there. Let them come.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Well, you are.
So we go while we are signing the register to the rest will come so we can agree with you. Let's go and go. Let's go.
The plan is, after for the death, we talk with you.
I'm talking to everybody together. From there, I'll go and sign your register. There's no briefing.
Okay, I have to do this. I put it in the mess. There will not be a place and double the mess.
No, what doing what in the mess? I will sign it either in the office, but I'm not going to talk.
All right.
It's not, I don't need any briefing.
So you want to sign the register before the parade?
Okay, in this case, I will have to share the program.
No, what was your arrangement?
My arrangement that from here straight to Canada, I do the troops. Then in the mess, because we have some communication from the farmers. So while we are doing 2 minutes now.
Okay, that is important. So you leave it that way.
So the register is all that place.
Thank you. No, 3 of us can come here.
To the front. What are you answering?
Everybody is higher than my own. Oh, my own.
It doesn't have a...
1328. Sergeant Tamukatebu. Quarter guard, mounted by helicopter, 15 ECOMOG brigade. Guard, ready for your inspection. Sir! Oh, that
Are we still using G3 rifles?
For mission area, yes.
Just to replace the G3 if the whole group. Yes, we don't go into this.
shout at General salute! Brigade!
Very good parade. Carry on, please.
Sentry down fast! The middle guard into the guard room. Dive! Mess!
What is the name of that village in front where the water tank used to be? Which? When we were here in Matrimony. We came from Tomago. Yes, sir. Across the whole communication office. He is the real commander. Hello. How are you? Yeah, just come. Ah, okay. So why are you just being deployed? Were you on leave?
No, sir. Because they just sent me from the port.
Oh, okay. How are you? Which chaplain? How are you? To the parade ground.
Sir, elements of 15 ECOMOG brigade form up. 11 officers, 150 soldiers on parade. Ready for your address, sir.
Order arm and standing materials.
Order arms. Order aye.
Good morning, all of you.
Morning, sir.
I have come here this morning to come and see your faces again and bid you farewell from the mission area. I was here last when I came on my assumption of office as the ECOMOG Force Commander. I addressed you and asked that I wanted your cooperation for us to achieve the difficult task that we were assigned in Liberia. I want to tell you how proud I am of all of you, the officers and the men, for that cooperation. We succeeded 100% in our mission in Liberia. We were just preparing ourselves that come the end of, beginning of February, we'll be leaving for our various countries. While we were planning on that, the event in Sierra Leone took place. So our mandate was now extended into Sierra Leone. What I want to tell you today is that my plans, my wishes, and my prayers was that the ECOWAS authorities, my government will give me that opportunity of moving along with you into Sierra Leone. Having operated with you, having tested you, and you having proved yourself capable of taking care of a situation or conflict anywhere, I was proud to say that I had the best troops in the world. Unfortunately, I don't have that pleasure because of my deployment back into Nigeria as a General Officer Commander. I came to say farewell, and in the process, I came along with the major staff of the ECOMOG Higher Command. I came with the Deputy Post Commander 1, General Quate. I came with the Chief of Staff of the ECOMOG, General Duan. The reason is to assure you that because I am posted out does not mean that ECOMOG is finished or that the policies we're implementing are over. We are going to continue with this job, whether I'm here or not, until April, when we hug ourselves, we exchange our addresses from the various countries where we came from, shake ourselves, and leave to go and meet our families. Between now and April is a very short period. We have stayed here 7 years already, so the time is not too long for you to despair. My advice to you is that the same dedication with which you worked here in Liberia, I want you to redouble that dedication. One of the things I can tell you from professional experience is that the way we intend to move into Sierra Leone, nobody is going to dare fire on us. We are moving in the strength that the junta in Sierra Leone will not dare to challenge us. We are moving with the equipment that we can operate without risking our lives. I want you to understand this and redouble your effort. Show their qualities, those qualities that have made you the talk of operations anywhere in the world. ECOMOG has received the commendation of the United Nations and the rest of the world. It's the first time that a regional peacekeeping has succeeded like we have done. I feel very proud of you. When you hear them talk about General Malu, I am nothing without your sacrifices, without your cooperation, without your total support. As a commander, I'm bound to be mentioned. But when you hear that General Malu did whatever, count yourself that you made it possible for General Malu to do that. I want you to extend this same type of cooperation to my successor. My successor, I can tell you, is an officer we have been together for the past 31 years. We are the best of friends, we are co-mates, we are buddies. I can assure you he's not going to change the policies that we are pursuing here. He's not going to endanger your lives. He's going to exercise an exemplary command leadership that will launch you into Sierra Leone, will do the job, and get the same respect from the world. Like we came to protect all the inconveniences, all the problems that we have encountered in forms of administration, in forms of logistic support. We overcame all that. We have behaved as an army that everybody has commended us. Right now, everywhere in East Africa, in South Africa, in North Africa, everybody is trying to emulate what the ECOMOG did for ECOWAS. We have become the subject of discussion. Everybody wants us to go to discuss with them, to share our experiences, how we achieve this difficult task here in Liberia. And the task we are certainly going to achieve in Sierra Leone before we pull out in April. So when I'm out of this place, I'll be listening to the Focus on Africa every day to hear what you are doing, to commend you, and to propagate what you have done to tell people that ECOMOG is a force that must be maintained even after we would have finished our assignment, both in Liberia and in Sierra Leone. The last meeting I attended in Lome, that was what your heads of state from all the 16 member countries made to consider, that having achieved this type of success, is it necessary to disband and ask everybody to go back? So right now there's a committee that has been set up and is looking at how ECOMOG as a force can be maintained and preserved to remain the standing force for the ECOWAS sub-region. You should feel very proud of that. No other part of the world has ever got any such an arrangement put in place. And we feel very, very proud. I'm not particularly happy that I'm leaving Liberia, even though I'm leaving for my home country where I'm supposed to be happier. And my regret is that I'm going to lose the opportunity of once again taking all of you into an operation that I know we are bound to succeed, that I know will succeed without any shedding to my blood. But that is not to say that you are not going to go into that operation successfully. So before I leave this place, as we are beginning the new year, I want to wish all of you the best of luck in this year. I want to wish you every success that you imagine for yourself. I am praying to God to give you protection and guide you in the remaining period of your stay in the ECOMOG, either here in Liberia or in Sierra Leone. Right now, at the headquarters, we are putting all the arrangements in place, awaiting the authorization from the ECOWAS authorities so that we can all move en masse into Sierra Leone and move in such a fashion that nobody will dare us, mainly because of the force level that will be taken into that country, but also because we are going to go with all the necessary equipment that if we are threatened, we can do something to tell somebody that ECOMOG is not a force to be played with. So before I leave you, I want to wish all of you a very, very happy new year. I want to wish you success in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, just the same type of success you have achieved here. I'm hoping that by April, when you are leaving the mission area, I'll have the opportunity of also coming to rejoice with you, to exchange addresses, to exchange our telephone numbers, so that we remain in contact, whether you are from Ghana, from Guinea, from Sierra Leone, from Gambia, from wherever. We should all remain as one member of the family, such as we have shown here in Liberia. I want to thank you, and I wish you every luck. Thank you.
Pray! Pray! Chant! Spread with a mob! Headrest! With a mob! Headrest! 100! 3 petty cheers to the outgoing first commander, ECOMOG, Major General SDL Malu, DSS, PSC, MNI, FWC. Hip, hip! Hooray! Hip, hip! Hooray! Hip, hip! Hooray! Spread with the place, headrest. With the place, headrest. What? Top it, what? Top it, what? Stop it! Up! Up! Shoulder! Arms! Sir, may I have your permission To carry on with the parade, sir.
Well done. Carry on, please.
Liberia still showed signs of war and civil unrest that had ravaged the former American colony for over 15 years. Factional leaders, in their maddening desire to attain power, had violated human rights, curtailed liberties and freedoms, and unleashed a reign of terror on their fellow citizens. Armed bandits still roamed the streets. Buildings had been destroyed, and the ones standing were covered in bullet holes. Life was unsafe despite efforts by ECOMOG to restore social equilibrium. The opportunity to personally witness the horrors of the Civil War made me more determined to bring an end to the conflict. The Liberian conflict posed unique challenges. The theater of the conflict consisted of urban areas where innocent civilians found themselves caught between two hostile groups. Regular rules of war simply would not apply in this case. We had to devise strategies to achieve our objective without unnecessary collateral damage. There were no established front lines or fixed positions. The thugs were scattered all over Liberia. With supplies running from neighboring countries, the rules of warfare simply did not apply. The thugs were not stationed in any particular place. They roamed the cities, striking wherever and whenever they chose. I was, however, determined to push all buttons that would lift Liberia from the cauldron of war and strife and put it on the path to constitutional democracy. This time around, I knew the environment, the key players, and their modus operandi. It was therefore much easier for me to quickly assume control of the terrain. Prior to my departure, I issued a press release in Abuja in which I stated, to the best of my knowledge, security in Liberia was the responsibility of ECOMOG, and that no other person or group of persons was supposed to bear arms, especially in the city of Monrovia. I expected the factions to make reasonable efforts to support the peace plan set forth by ECOWAS. I made it known to all factional leaders that ECOMOG had effective retaliatory capacity and would not hesitate to respond to any attacks. I suspected and indeed hoped that Charles Taylor was listening to me. Charles Taylor had a visceral contempt for the peacekeeping mission initiated by ECOWAS. He had long railed against ECOMOG for singling him out for special treatments. The truth was that Charles Taylor, desperate to assume power in Liberia, saw ECOMOG as the only thing standing in his way to power. He therefore resorted to cheap blackmail and veiled threats to undermine and undercut ECOMOG. His complaints arose from personal ambition and greed and lacked substance. I made it clear that ECOMOG would not succumb to his ploy. He became venomously angry when it became clear that ECOMOG would not be deterred by his histrionics. He was therefore determined to undermine the efforts of ECOMOG to restore peace to Liberia. My first order of business was to secure the area by making sure that we took control of the major areas of Monrovia. That done, I set out to disarm the factions. I knew from intelligence and field reports that there were stockpiles of ammunition in different parts of Liberia that were accessible to the factional leaders and their thugs. Unless we got to those arms, they would eventually be turned against my men. In an interview with journalists, I stated the philosophy that animated the military operations. I stated that to disarm, you must be professional and be prepared to give a bloody nose to anybody who tries to subvert the process. Either you are there to enforce peace with all your might, or you leave your troops at the mercy of armed bandits. My life, and indeed the lives of my troops, could not be left to the good faith or voluntary self-restraint on the part of the warring factions not to shoot at us. Given their history and the actions of their antecedents, allowing them to retain their weapons would have led to catastrophic consequences for my troops.
We're not going to disappoint you, and we're also going to cooperate with your successor so that he will achieve as much results as you have done here. And we wish you a happy tenure of successful office, your new appointment as the General Officer Commanding 2 Infantry Mechanized Division, the Nigerian Army. We very much cherish your leadership, and we don't have words to express it. So at this juncture, I would like to present a token gift to the outgoing force commander so that wherever he may be, he will take a look at it and have a continuous memory of 15th ECOMOG Brigade. And also some of my commanding officers have so little gift. And in that wise, I will also give them that opportunity to present a gift to you. So, sir, on behalf of the gallant officers of 15th ECOMOG Brigade, which has been so through your able, dynamic support, I hereby present this token gift to you so that you will not forget us and we will not forget you in the spirit. Sir.
Thank you very much. Let him finish the presentation so I can talk to the officers. I'm not compelling if you don't have anything I want to
Just wish to say that you will have seen and experienced the commander and the leader. I wish you well in your next appointment. Thank you very much.
It's going to be a very, very prosperous new year to usher in the year 2000. So let everybody feel it first.
Thank you very much. The Chief of Staff, the Commander 15th Brigade, commanding officers, my staff officers, fellow officers, gentlemen. This is not supposed to be a happy occasion. And especially for me, I might be wearing a bold face, smiling, but inside me, I'm not happy. And I'm not happy because my thought of leaving you at this particular point in time, I feel almost as if I'm abandoning you for the cause that we have plunged ourselves in. I have said this to the soldiers. Unfortunately, you were not on the parade, so I might just have to repeat what I said. My greatest desire was that, having achieved the measure of success that we have achieved in Liberia, which has been reckoned with, which has been recognized by everybody, including even people that never thought Africans would do such a thing, I would have got the opportunity of leading the same caliber of officers and men to achieve the same success in Sierra Leone. And especially considering that the program in Sierra Leone is so short, to terminate in April, I was going to give that opportunity without a new person coming to take over. But it has happened that is not going to be the case. From that point of view, I feel very disappointed. And inside me, I feel as if I'm letting you down. But being military officers, you can understand what deployment is. I have no reason to explain why I've been redeployed at this time. Maybe it's God's wish, so we take it to be that. But something I can tell you is that whatever success we have achieved in the mission area here in Liberia is not because of me as Victor Malu. It's because of everyone, the effort of every one of you sitting here. And as a matter of fact, it's more because of you than those of us sitting on the high table here. A plan is just a plan if there's nobody to execute that plan. We sit down in the offices very comfortably and do the planning. You interpret and execute that plan on the ground. So your role in whatever we achieve is much more than just mere recognition. But in every setup, you have a chain of command, the head takes the commendation. I thought I should get that opportunity of letting you know that you are the reason for whatever we have achieved in this place. Your commitment, your dedication, your determination, despite all the odds we went through, all the insults we have received from the same people that we came to serve, you have endured and gotten to this point. By some stroke of chance, I'm called upon very often to talk at venues. And in each of them, the question asked is, why we thought we succeeded here as against other organizations, particularly with respect to UN operations. And I told them the reason is simple. We are from very poor countries. We came here with one understanding. We have nothing to benefit. None of us here is going back to their home richer than they were when they were coming here. Certainly not the troops from Nigeria. I don't know what allowances you pay Ghana. But you cannot live on $5 a day and go back to your country rich. You cannot say the same of UN operations. Some of you have taken part, so you know what it is. So we had a commitment here to do a job we were given within that specified time. And we have done that job. The credit is yours. I want to commend you publicly for that. We would have been preparing ourselves to leave for our various countries by the end of this month or first week in February, if we didn't have a problem in LIberia, in Sierra Leone, which has now mandated the extension of, which has now warranted the extension of our mandate into Sierra Leone. I can assure you that the job in Sierra Leone can done as efficiently as the difficult job we did here in LIberia. As officers, I don't need to tell you, but you can also analyze things on your own and interpret and see why it will be easier. The crisis in LIberia lasted for as long as it did, firstly because of lack of cooperation among the ECOWAS member states. Very many of the members of the ECOWAS were pursuing a program differently from the majority of the member states of the ECOWAS. I don't need to go into the history of our operation. But if you remember, at a certain time in this operation, we brought in troops even from East Africa to satisfy the yearnings of some people that the force was too overloaded by troops of either English-speaking country, French-speaking country, a particular country, and so on and so forth. All those tests, all those experiments failed. We made up our mind that we had a program to implement the last Abuja agreement. We looked at the timetable and we started following that program. The United Nations agencies tried to put obstacles in our way. We told them to go to hell. We were not as comfortable as they were. We had a time schedule within which to complete our assignment. We damned them. They couldn't go away. They had to work alongside with us. We have achieved that success. This is the main reason why everybody in any part of the world is anxious to know how ECOMOG achieved the feat in this place. Yours sincerely here is almost becoming a consultant. Everybody wants us to go and share our experience. How did we do it? And I tell them we did it because we had that understanding. We came from 10 different backgrounds. French-speaking, English-speaking, NATO doctrine, Warsaw doctrine that was developed at the backyard, but we all work together as a force. But as a commander, the most satisfying thing was that, unlike what is happening in some other places that you might not know, specifically with SADC, the South African War, Southern African Cooperation Development, they have also formed something like an ECOMOG. It has not actually done anything. But within its existence of less than 3 months, they are already having problems that cases, major dispute cases, have to be taken back to the countries where the troops come from. I'm in a comfortable position to say that that has not been the situation in ECOMOG. Having served here as the Chief of Staff, as the Director of Operations, as a contingent commander, coming back many years after to serve as the Force Commander, where I'm overseeing the whole command of the ECOMOG, I have every reason to feel proud of this outfit. So I'm leaving you with heavy heart, but I know that if you still make up your mind, like you've done in Liberia, the job in Sierra Leone is going to be achieved and achieved with the same measure of success and at no cost in life to anybody. At the last Ministerial Council meeting, all the ministers without exception agreed and recommended strongly to the heads of state and government of the ECOWAS that what is required is to beef up the strength of the ECOMOG so that we move into Sierra Leone so massively that nobody will dare ECOMOG. That is the simple solution. As long as we are in such a state, in such force level that nobody will dare us, they will not dare us, nobody will raise a finger, whether Johnny Broma likes us or not, whether Fodesango is released or not. That's what we are working towards achieving, and that's what we are going to get. So I want you to extend the same type of cooperation, the same type of attitude, the same high level of standard of discipline. I want that extended to my successor who will be taking over from me. Tomorrow will be my final day to complete all my assignment here in the mission area. When I would have gone to talk to the troops in Sierra Leone, because by Saturday I'll be leaving the mission area. But I'll still be following the operations of the ECOMOG to the last day where you are leaving. This is something I've done maybe unconsciously. I left here in June of '93. There was no week I didn't talk to somebody in Liberia at my expense, because I was interested to know how the troops, the officers I left behind were doing. I didn't get the true picture of what was happening, but at least I was in contact. This time, Abu will not dare tell me a lie, because he will come to work with me, and he know I can squeeze his balls. Joe having worked with me for 1 year, he knows he cannot tell me lies. So I believe that I'll be getting the correct picture of what is happening. And I think in the position I'm going to be, at least from the Nigerian point of view, I should be in a position to assist in the operations in Sierra Leone as much as possible. Having been so committed, having suffered along with you, I think I'm in a position to talk to the authorities on some of your requirements, even without my being the Force Commander of the ECOMOG. On that note, I want to wish you a very happy new year, a very successful operation in Sierra Leone, and I hope the commander of ECOMOG will invite me when you will be leaving Sierra Leone in April, so that we can come and exchange our addresses, our telephones, and remain in contact so that we behave like a family. The meeting I attended is in Lomé. Unfortunately, I have not had the opportunity or even briefing the High Command of the ECOMOG. It was to consider retaining ECOMOG as a force for the sub-region. The Americans have come up with an idea of establishing an African Crisis Response Initiative. The French have come with something with a funnier acronym. It's only a French that you can understand it. We are saying we don't need all that. We have had 7 years of practical experience. We have lost our lives in this area. We have gone from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. There's no aspect of peacekeeping duty that we have not undertaken. We have handled refugees. We have handled displaced persons. We have even gone beyond what is entailed in standard operations of the UN. What we need is the logistics from the international community, since we come from very poor countries. Once we get that, we can do this job anywhere else. That logistic, I believe we are going to get when we get into Sierra Leone. And the reason we are going to get everything we need is because of the success we have achieved here. I want you to continue on the same principle of what you're doing here. Cooperate with my successor, cooperate with the higher command of the ECOMOG, and the rest will be history. I want us to be a part of that history together. Thank you very much. If they are on arms, you get there, forcibly take the arms from them and let them kill themselves. If they don't want us to do the job for them. We protect ourselves. They don't want to carry arms that might endanger our lives. Whatever they want to do, let it be their business. What are you? You are here now. That's right. I thought you went with Perry.
And I was asking Joe why you were not there.
In a well-ordained and sustained fashion, I set about disarming the factions and their thugs. I cordoned off key and strategic areas of the town and methodically searched the area for arms. The key was the element of surprise, and I ordered the searches conducted at all times of the day. Residents woke up in the morning only to find their area had been cordoned off for a search. The searches were intense and thorough. We went through every nook and corner of every house looking for arms. Nobody was spared, including Charles Taylor, who tried very hard to mask his displeasure over the strategy. I remember the first call I got from Charles Taylor. He stated, "General Malu, I don't like you, but I still respect you. I heard your press conference in Abuja when you said you were going to conduct searches of all the factional leaders. You started with me. I think I admire you." I thanked him and told him that as the person in charge of security, I needed to know who was firing at me so that I could take the blame should anything happen. The best the frustrated Charles Taylor and his thugs could do was to sporadically attack ECOMOG troops. With time, ECOMOG took back the city of Monrovia, street by street, building by building. Much as I did not particularly like Charles Taylor, I refrained from personalizing my mission. I was going to even-handedly deal with the warring factions. I made it clear to all concerned that I was not interested in involving myself or my troops in their local politics. I had one job and one job alone: to carry out the ECOMOG mandate of maintaining peace. It did not take long for my resolve to be tested. By October, there was an attempt to assassinate Charles Taylor in the executive mansion. As the force commander, I would have allowed my subordinates, especially the chief of staff and director of operations, to handle the matter, but for some reason I decided to take over the operation. Within a matter of minutes, approximately 10 minutes actually, we saturated the whole of Monrovia with ECOMOG troops. Residents were surprised by the number of ECOMOG soldiers in Liberia. We used helicopters, ships, and land vehicles. My main aim was to keep everybody at standstill and prevent the warring factions from accessing their arms. Charles Taylor threatened to leave and argued that maybe I had been sent back to kill him because of the bad blood between him and the former ECOMOG commander, General Olorin. I knew Charles Taylor too well to allow such blackmail to derail me.
Good afternoon, all of you. I took some time off this afternoon to come and see you. I know you are not many. It would have been very easy to forget that you are here. But because of the role you are playing in the operations in Liberia and to a large extent to the operation in Sierra Leone, your importance has become such that we cannot marginalize you by my leaving without coming to say a special farewell to you. I took over the command of the ECOMOG on the 22nd of August, 96. And having achieved what we achieved in Liberia, I was hoping that I'll be the same person to move along with you from here to continue with that operation into Sierra Leone. I thought of this not because of the success we have achieved, but mainly because of the time that we have left for us to do the decision, which is 8 minutes. What has happened? Some of you even imagine that maybe I'm in prison. I decided that I should come and officially say farewell to you, to commend you for the tremendous job that you have done. The very tremendous job that you have done within your short stay here. If our Air Force had operated like this all the time, I think the Nigerian Armed Forces would have been reckoned with everywhere in the world. And I'm saying this without any sentiment. The way you have operated, the type of missions you have carried out at the risk to your lives, because I understand some of the missions you have carried out even without ammunition or arms to protect yourselves. Because of your commitment, I think you deserve my highest commendation. I took the liberty during the Chief of Army Staff Conference to make this point about the way the Air Force supporting us here, how you have operated. I feel very, very proud of you. As for the pilots, I can say that I made it possible for you to come here because most of you operated with me in 92, 93. I know you by name, I know your reputations, and I specifically asked your corps, your service, to send you to serve here. And they honored my request and sent you. Oh, I can say your boldness and everything that comes together. We have completed our mission. We are just in the process of moving into Sierra Leone any time from now. As for you, we are hoping that we also move your base to either Conakry or to Lungi. But mainly we are thinking of Conakry. And I believe that's where we'll be moving to. I think your operations will be better enhanced in the sense that you'll be close to your target. You wouldn't need to waste fuel flying 30 minutes before getting over the target. You'll know better the time it takes you to fly from Conakry to reach Lungi, to reach Freetown, and every other place within Sierra Leone where you've been going to. All I want to come and ask of you is to extend the same devotion to duty that you have displayed, extend the same boldness, the same bravery, and the same commitment that you have shown in the mission area to my successor when he comes to take over from me. I came to say farewell to you, and I came with the whole high command of the ECOMOG. I came with the DFC-1, General Kwateng. I came with the Nigerian Contingent Commander and the Chief of Staff, General Abdulwan. The reason is to assure you that whatever policies we were pursuing here were not Victor Malu's policies. They were ECOMOG policies. They were policies that we sat down together and worked and evolved. That I'm going does not mean that our operations are terminated. We are going to continue to give the junta the hell they deserve until such a time we move into that place. And I can assure you, by 22nd of April, we would have officially finished our assignment. We should have started packing our things to get back to our country. So I'm asking you to rededicate your effort. The time left is very small. We have endured all the hardships here. We have taken a lot of insults from the same people that we're supposed to be protecting. That is what soldiering is about. We came as peacekeepers. So if we are insulted, we turn the other way and pretend we didn't hear it. But at the end of it, the whole world has commended us for what we have achieved here and for what we are going to eventually achieve in Sierra Leone. I want you to extend the same cooperation to my successor, who I can tell you is a personal friend of 31 years, is a close mate, is a gentleman. I'm sure among the officers, you must have known him very well. Currently, he's the Chief of Training and Planning in the Defense Headquarters. He has been here several times. He has kept abreast of all our activities here because of his position in GHQ. And I can assure you that the policies we are pursuing are the same policies he's coming to take over and pursue. So we're not going to look back. Finally, I want to wish all of you a very, very happy new year. I know it's long, some of you have not seen members of your family. For those of us who have stayed here for 7 years, we know what it is. But I think now we can tell somebody definitely that in the next 4 months, we should be getting out of this region to join our families, and you'll be going with your heads held high, because you have achieved what your country sent you to come and do here. So do not despair. Commit yourself more. We have very little left to be achieved, and that we are going to achieve. The technicians among you maintaining the aircraft, I believe that you yourself will feel that you have done something for which your pay is justified. I don't think you had any job to do back at home, firstly because your aircraft were not functioning. You have got the opportunity of showing somebody what makes you a technician as against somebody else. Feel very proud of that. It's not how much money you have on you that makes you proud, but you should feel proud that you are doing a job for which you are wearing this uniform that makes the difference between you and the civilian. I want you to hold your head high and feel proud of what you are doing here. Do it, rededicate yourself. We have a short period to go. I will be leaving the mission area on Saturday. My spirit will be with you. I'll keep constantly in contact to know how you are doing. In my position as a GOC, and I believe I'm also going to be a member of the Provisional Ruling Council, I'll make sure that whatever I can do at my level to assist the operation here, I can assure you I'm going to do. Whatever possible I can do to assist the operation so that you don't operate at the risk to your life. We want to see all of you back to rejoin your families at the end of this mission. On that note, I want to wish you a very, very happy stay in Liberia. Don't mind about whatever anybody says about us. We are doing well. The world has recognized. So I want to thank you very much for that. And I wish you everything you wish for yourself in this new year. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
To the Argyle FC, Major General SVS Malu. Hep, hep, hep! Hooray! Louder! Hep, hep, hep! Yay! Louder! Hep, hep, hep! Hooray! Right with the flag headed. The flag headed.
Thank you very much. Stand in my teeth. Let me humor them before we go.
Standard! Eyes!
Noisy. I wasn't surprised that you couldn't talk louder. The Air Force is not meant for making noise. You allow your Alpha jets and the MiGs to make the noise for you. So I want to thank you very much and a happy stay in Liberia and Sierra Leone.
Thank you, sir.
Safe journey, sir. Where's our aircraft?
It's on patrol. Commander.
Oh, it's over there. If I'm not, I'll probably be getting an aircraft on Saturday. They are supposed to go to Kaduna.
Okay.
I was the one delaying them. Yes. They have to fix, what do you call it?
GPS.
To help them in their landing. So I was delaying them. I thought I might be going along with them. I didn't know my posting. I was thinking of going to take our problem to Abuja.
I will take
so
care
you
of
can arrange for them.
I know they are problems. I know some will come with the...
okay, thank you very much. Well, if was finished very early, we have a patient in the American embassy. Not on the 7.
As I was getting ready to return to Nigeria, I went through the entire gamut of emotions. I remember the fallen soldiers who had paid the ultimate sacrifice. These were men, fathers, brothers, husbands, and sons who had gallantly obeyed the orders and laid down their lives so their fellow human beings might have a better life. I prayed for them. I asked for God's comfort for their families and asked God to give them the strength and courage to carry on. I thought about the soldiers I was leaving behind, brave men who had left their countries and their families to help ensure peace and freedom in a foreign land. Nothing could be nobler than putting oneself in harm's way so that others might live in freedom. I pray that Almighty God will continue to protect them and grant their commanders the wisdom to make the right decisions. I also thought about the people of Liberia. I remembered ordinary citizens who through no fault of their own had been forced to live in less than satisfactory conditions. I wish that our assignment would lay the foundation for lasting peace in Liberia. Yes, I thought about myself. I thanked God for sparing my life. I was proud of my efforts and achievements. I had helped restore peace and order in a country that had hardly known either before ECOMOG troops arrived. I pray that history and posterity would be kind to me in the assessment of my role in Liberia. I was also mindful of the fact that revisionists and politicians with an axe to grind would try to distort the facts either with an attempt to discredit me or to gain cheap political advantage. What detractors wrote or said about me was the least of my worries and indeed was of little importance to the people of Liberia who had recaptured their freedom and indeed their humanity. It was no longer in my hands. I had played my part with honor and I was going home to my country and my family. As I pondered these thoughts, the words of an editorial written in the Liberia Enquirer dated Friday, January 9, 1998, titled Farewell Malu, echoed within me.
General Samuel Victor Malu, the Nigerian general whose name has gone into history for being the first commander of the multinational peacekeeping force that succeeded in disarming the former warring factions in the country, thereby creating the atmosphere for the special July 19th general and presidential election, has been recalled to take up a new assignment in his country. Indeed, General Malu has left his footprints on the sand of time that generations to come will forever remember this fine and no-nonsense African soldier. We recall that the outgoing force commander took over helm of affairs of the ECOMOG forces weeks after the April 6, 1996 factional fighting which devastated the city of Monrovia. Shortly upon his takeover, General Malu rebuilt confidence among the factions. Also, he professionally and maturely handled the October 31st assassination attempt on the life of the then councilman Charles Taylor, now president at the Executive Mansion. Similarly, we note with satisfaction the security modus operandi employed during the electoral process, which made the process to become free and fair. Initially, when the campaign started with violence in some areas, the general sent out a strong warning that if you throw stone at others during the campaign, ECOMOG will be constrained to throw bullets. This warning sent a clear message to the would-be troublemakers, thus making the process go ahead without any major violence. At the same time, the general also built confidence and hope in the electorate in the wake of fear that if some of those who were contesting the polls did not win, they would resort to violence. At that time, the general assured the citizens that they should go about their normal business, as no faction had the capacity to wage war after the election, as the peacekeepers had been successful in incapacitating all of them. As we wish the general farewell for his dedication, commitment, devotion, and sense of purpose and mission, we still recall at one point that we differed with him when he said that the real enemies of the Liberian people were the press. We are now convinced that at the end of his mission, he has now realized that the real enemies of the Liberian people, the press, is only a partner in progress, whose function and role are at times misconstrued by selfish and power-greedy individuals. To the general, we say well done for restoring sanity to this country. Well done for disarming the warring factions. Well done for ushering in the first democratically elected government after 7 years of war. And lastly, we say well done for being impartial during your mission here. In the Liberian way, we say goodbye. Your morale is high. It can't get cold.
Standard of a troop. I'm extremely proud of you. You've done extremely well, and I think I should be the one to come and tell you it should not be anybody else. You've done an exceptional job. I'm not happy that I'm leaving you behind. My intention and plan was that I will be the same person to carry you along with me into Sierra Leone so that we can finish our assignment there and leave come April this year to go back to join our families. Unfortunately, the plan from our own army headquarters was different. So I've now been posted back to Nigeria, and I'm going as a GOC 2 division in Ibadan. I came along to come and talk to you to say that because I am leaving, that is not the end of ECOMOG, or that is not the end of ECOMOG as you know it now. In going around to talk to the troops, I have come along with the DFC-1, General Quaternary, I've come along with the Chief of Staff, General Abdul. The reason is to assure you that the policies of the ECOMOG will still remain the same policies we are operating. There will be no change. Right now, we are preparing ourselves to move into Sierra Leone, having successfully completed our mission here. I know the difficulties you have gone through. You have been humiliated, you have been insulted, we have lost some close friends, some colleagues, all in the course of this assignment. That is so expected in soldiering. It's nothing that will make you despair. That is what soldiering is about. That's why we wear this uniform differently from other people. I want you to feel very proud of yourself. We have had an achievement that no army anywhere has achieved as a sub-region. We came here from 10 different countries, some English speaking, some French speaking, some speaking just their language, their dialect. We came to work as one force for the ECOWAS authorities who have succeeded. The whole world is proud of what we have done, and they are going to be even more proud when we would have achieved our mission in Sierra Leone. The job in Sierra Leone is not going to be as difficult as the job we went through here. The reasons are very obvious. When we came to Liberia, even within the membership of the ECOWAS, there were some countries that were supporting those same factions that we were fighting against. That is not going to be the situation in Sierra Leone. I can assure you. The countries that would have wanted to support the junta in Sierra Leone will not get that opportunity because of our presence. And because we are going to deploy so heavily that they will not dare challenge us, we take them on. And I know you are capable of taking anybody on with a good leadership, and that good leadership is what you are going to get. I am looking forward to all of us living here for Sierra Leone by the end of this month, or earliest by the first week in February. That is the authorization we are waiting from the ECOWAS authorities. So my successor who is coming, who happens to be a very personal friend, a colleague, a coursemate, and somebody who have been together for the past 31 years, is somebody I know as a thorough soldier. He is not going to let you down. He is going to run the ECOMOG the same way that I did, badly or wrongly, the same way he's going to run the ECOMOG. But I believe with the successes we have achieved, we must have done something good. And I expect that you will run in the same footsteps. So while leaving you, I want you to rededicate yourself again to the post of why we are here. I'm sure many of you have been to Liberia more than 2-3 times. When we were coming here in those days, we didn't know which day we'll be leaving here to join our family and whether we'll ever leave at all. By the time I took over in August, I was able to tell you that come February, we'll be leaving this country. But for the situation in Sierra Leone, we would have been leaving to join our families by February this year. Then we had a setback in Sierra Leone. It's a challenge to all of us. If we do not treat the case in Sierra Leone, it's going to come back to Liberia, it's going to extend into Guinea. This is why it's absolutely necessary that we address the situation in Sierra Leone and address it as professionally as we did here in Liberia, where the whole world is commending us. So when you have this at the back of your mind, rededicate yourself to the job. The time is very short. When we go there, we do the job professionally and get out to join the members of our family. On that note, I want to wish you a very, very happy new year. I wish you God's guidance and protections. And I'm looking forward to coming to celebrate with you come April, when you would have been preparing to leave Sierra Leone, so that we can exchange our addresses, our telephone numbers, so that we remain in contact as one army. The whole world is proud of what ECOMOG has done. Other regions in Africa are trying to copy what we have done. And we should not give up only when we have only one obstacle to cross. So I want you to rededicate yourself, pay attention to details, show the high standard of discipline that you have displayed all along here. And success will be ours in a few days. I want to thank you very much. I will be leaving here on Saturday to go back to Nigeria. I'm very sure that by April, when you come back, very many of them will be coming to serve in my division. All you need to do is to remind me that you will ECOMOG with me, and I'll feel proud of you at any time. I want to thank you very much and wish you God's guidance. Thank you.
Right! Right! Turn! 300 years to the first commander, Major General SVL Malu, FSS, MSS, DSS, PSC, MNI. Hip, hip, hip! Hip, hip, hip! Hip, hip, hip! Right, we replace headdress. Replace headdress.
I'm sure by now maybe I would have got a fax from Chief Committee. Because all the letter we write, they get it within a few minutes of the letter.
As the words of the editorial occupied my consciousness, a certain sense of relief overpowered me. My stay in Liberia had made a difference. I had brought peace to a country and provided an enabling environment for elections that ultimately produced an elected civilian president. All my prior accomplishments paled in comparison to the success I had achieved in Liberia. I had not failed my country. These thoughts provided great comfort and reassurance to me. My troops had performed superbly in Liberia. They had given hope to the hopeless and provided peace. I was not therefore going to allow detractors to cheat me or my troops of the well-deserved accolade. The New York Times, writing about my tour of duty in Liberia, observed that before his arrival, West African soldiers occupying Liberia were degenerating into an antagonistic and resented force that was demanding small bribes, turning the blind eye to looting and letting factions to fight on. Since then, General Malu's strict discipline and his tough threats to the faction leaders, the country has calmed down. The highly personal military justice here, coupled with statements by many diplomats, made it clear that General Malu is the real ruler of Liberia, and he is almost universally praised for it. The true heroes of the ECOMOG operations in Liberia were the soldiers on the front lines, in the streets of Liberia and in the dark alleys of Monrovia, fighting armed bandits and hoodlums who had no qualms about taking innocent lives. They witnessed firsthand the macabre part of war fought with brutal and indiscriminate intensity. The ECOMOG soldiers risked everything to contain the warring factions. Some did not survive. Some who survived are scarred physically and emotionally by horrors they witnessed and experienced. I suspect, however, that these brave soldiers found an enhanced sense of self-worth and a new meaning of their lives as they helped fellow human beings to live in peace. I remember the words of Anthony Swofford, a retired United States Marine and author of Jarhead, a Marine's Chronicle of the Gulf War and other battles, who said, "The men who go to war and live are spared for the single purpose of spreading bad news when they return. The bad news about the way war is fought and why and by whom, and the more men who survive the war, the higher the number of men who might speak." I hope that African countries will learn from Liberian experience the futility of attempting to resolve political questions through violence. On January 10, 1997, 18 months after I arrived at Liberia as the ECOMOG commander, I boarded the aircraft for Nigeria to assume duties as the General Officer Commanding of the 2nd Mechanized Division of the Nigerian Army in Ibadan. I have refused to speculate on why I was not allowed to undertake a complete restructuring of the Liberian army before I was recalled. Some have insinuated that my frosty relationship with Charles Taylor was the motivating factor. This may have been instigated by Charles Taylor's comments during a trip to Nigeria in December 1997 when he stated, "I don't accuse him of running a parallel government, but I said I would not permit him to run a parallel government." My own feeling is that I don't think the President of Nigeria has ever encouraged that as far as I am concerned. My own feeling is that I don't think the President of Nigeria has ever encouraged that as far as I'm concerned. He further stated, "There has been an elected government in Liberia. No military personnel in Liberia would disrespect me. I don't think any Nigerian authority would tolerate that, and I have warned that if he did not stop, we would ask that he be recalled or I would expel him." Charles Taylor's rhetoric was nothing more than political posturing designed to whip up sentiments among his supporters. I was unimpressed by his tirades and unmoved by his threats. I had the mandate and support of the ECOMOG and was determined to achieve ECOMOG's objectives. I had come to believe that Charles Taylor was a man ruled by greed and lust for power, who would revel in my failure or humiliation. I would have been surprised if he had anything complimentary to say about me. Others believed that my popularity was becoming a source of concern for some people back home in Nigeria. Whatever may have been the reason, it did not matter very much. The fact was that I received my deployment orders and I had to obey superior orders. Soldiers do not have much say about why they are deployed. The key is to do your job very well in whatever setting you find yourself. I took great solace and comfort that I had done my job well. Writing about my performance as ECOMOG commander, Nigeria's This Day newspaper of Tuesday, January 20th, 1997, editorialized that by successfully commanding the peacekeeping body, Malu has done Nigeria proud. His performance has without doubt improved Nigeria's rating in the international arena. We congratulate General Malu and the entire ECOMOG contingent. It is gratifying that their mission in Liberia ended on a good note. They went, they fought, and they conquered. Upon arriving in Lagos, I issued a statement that clearly captured my sentiments regarding my assignments in Liberia. Today, Liberia enjoys relative peace and security because of the blood, sweat, and tears of gallant men and women of this sub-region led by our great country, Nigeria. It is a feat which we should all be proud of because it has never been done anywhere else. We have proved to the world that once the will is there, nothing is really impossible. Liberia has settled its leadership peacefully, and it is noteworthy that we created the enabling environment for them to do so. It is my hope that the peace which has been obtained at so high a cost will be preserved by those whom it has now been bequeathed. To fail in nurturing and assuring that peace would be an unforgivable blunder, and it could cost that country dearly. Although I would have appreciated an opportunity to complete the restructuring of the armed forces of Liberia as envisaged under the Abuja Agreement for Liberia and also taking ECOMOG troops to Sierra Leone, I cannot argue against the tide of events. I am confident that my able successor can complete whatever task is left uncompleted. With that statement, I closed the book of my life as ECOMOG commander and turned my attention to my new and very familiar task of serving as the General Officer commanding the 2nd Mechanized Division, Ibadan.
Peace, unity, and reconciliation. Nothing can stop peace. Liberian people, we are one people, one destiny, one vision. We are all Liberians. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Let our will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Our daily bread. Forgive our sins, O Lord. Forgiving one another. Giving yourself evil, destroying our country. Lead us not into temptation. Not into temptation. To kill one another. That is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. People we choose success, so you are welcome. Thank you, everyone. We thank you, everyone. We thank you, everyone, for bringing us here. We thank you, everyone. We thank you, everyone. We thank you, everyone, for bringing us peace. Liberian people, we choose success everywhere you go. God be blessed. Liberian people, we choose success everywhere you go. God be blessed you. Liberian people, crying for peace every day and night. We thank you, ECOMOG. Liberian people, crying for peace every day and night. We thank you, ECOMOG. Our mothers, our fathers, we are very sorry for this struggle. Our mothers, our fathers, we are very sorry for this struggle. We are very sorry for the struggle. We want to thank you, dear General Malu. We are sorry for the struggle. We want to thank you. We are not to give you. We are not to give you. We are not to give you. We thank you, ECOMOG. We are not to give you. We are not to give you. We are not to give you. We thank you, ECOMOG. Thank you, Mama Gila. Thank you, Mama Gila. We thank you, Mama Gila, for sending ECOMOG. We thank you, Mama Gila. We thank you, Mama Gila. We thank you, Mama Gila, for sending ECOMOG. Thank you, Roland. Jerry Roland. We thank you, Roland, for sending ECOMOG. We thank you, Roland. Jerry Roland. We thank you, Roland, for sending ECOMOG. Thank you, Abacha, Sani Abacha. We thank you, Abacha, for sending ECOMOG. We thank you, Abacha, Sani Abacha. We thank you, Abacha, for sending ECOMOG. We are not to give you. We are not to give you. We are not to give you. We thank you, ECOMOG. We are not to give you. We are not to give you. We are not to give you. We thank you, ECOMOG.
The Governors Association of Liberia, our distinguished Vice Head of State, Vice Chairman Oscar J. Cuellar, Ambassador Minor, other representatives of missions, diplomatic missions near this capital, Reverend Dr. Jeremiah Walker, President of the Interfaith Council of Liberia, Bishop Africola, Executive Member of the Council, Bishop Davinan Dixon, Executive Member of the Council, Senevikia Sulu, Coordinator of the Council, the Honorable Roosevelt Johnson, Minister of Rural Development, Republic of Liberia, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens. About 3 days ago, we were in the offices of Major General Samuel Victor Malu to attempt to arrive at a date for holding a massive Liberian civil society appreciations to ECOMOG program. When we received the information from Major General Malu that he will be leaving Liberia on Saturday this week, we expected him to be leaving, but not so soon. There are many things that people ascribe to Liberians as the Liberian way, and some of these are not true. But one thing we must hold true is that if it were just 1 second that we have to say thank you, we will use that 1 second. So today we do not have the thousands of Liberians and friends of Liberians, which we will have when we hold this program before February 2nd. We expect to hold this program during the course of this month, and there will be thousands of Liberians there to show their appreciation to ECOMOG. But today, in a second, with the little second that we have, we have assembled here leaders of Liberian civil society representing well over 1,300,000 of our people. They come through the representatives of the Interfaith Council of Liberia, the Council of Chiefs of Liberia, the Governors Association of Liberia, the interest groups of Liberia, the Liberian Women Initiative, and collaborating political parties with respect to this event. At this time, when we are called upon to make introductory remarks, there is really not much to say. For the occasion actually speaks for itself, except to say that the people of Liberia, through the representatives, have come here today to say to Major General son of Victor Malu, Balikawe, General Malu, Imama, General Malu, Azu, General Malu, Nasro, General Malu, Nabisemo, General Malu, and finally, we thank you, General Malu. Thank you very much.
We now have a presentation by Mr. Christian Baker, President, University of Liberia, Students' Union.
Our distinguished honorary, Major General Victor S. Malu, Post Commander, Emeritus, ECOMOG Peace Mission in Liberia, Ambassador William Malan of the United States Embassy, Mission Equality in Liberia, distinguished platform guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the university student community and on behalf of the Liberia student community, I bring you greetings in the name of our Father the Almighty. We have been mandated by the university student community to attend this program and say a word of big thank you to the General. Despite the short notice, we felt that the Liberian student community is under the moral obligation to ensure that we make our representation felt here today. Because of the short notice, we are not in the position now to present a certificate of honor to the honorary, but also has prepared two certificates. One for the head of state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Abacha, and the other for the honorary. I need not count the tremendous efforts, tremendous work the General has done in this country. And we all have to say, yes, indeed, thank God to ECOMOG and the General. Also will be in the forefront, the University of Liberia Student Union will be in the forefront to ensure that the next program that is being planned in honor of our ECOMOG brothers will be a success. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting the University student community here at this program.
Episcopal School Choir. We call the also President, Mr. Baker, this time to present the certificates.
These certificates have just arrived, and so we've not much to do. I will honorably call on our honorary to present to him these certificates of honor for his hard work he has done in the Republic of Liberia. Let me just go through the weddings. University of Liberia Student Union, Certificate of Honor. This certificate is meritoriously awarded to Major General Samuel Victor Malu, whereas the student of the Republic of Liberia, under auspices and of the University of Liberia Student Union also, have watched keenly with admiration and dedication, commitment, and with steadfastness the enormous sacrifices exhibited by His Excellency Major General Samuel Victor Malu, First Commander ECOMOG, to whom was entrusted the war-ravaged Liberia by the people of this republic. And whereas the said His Excellency Major General Samuel Victor Malu has exhibited much courage, love, and good faith for and towards the people of this land, with particular emphasis on the children and youth of the republic. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the students, children, and youth of the republic do hereby extend and express their overwhelming thanks and appreciation to His Excellency Major General Samuel Victor Malu for his love and concern for the Liberian masses, and for his courage, hard work, and cooperation in the resolution of the Liberian civil conflict. For this, we pray God's continuous blessing on you and yours. in witness whereof I have affixed my signature at the University of Liberia in the city of Monrovia, Monserrado County. Signed, our Christian David Baker, President Usher. May we all rise as the same weddings go for that of His Excellency General Sani Abacha. On behalf of the university student community and on behalf of the entire Liberian student community, we are most pleased, Your Excellency, to present these certificates of honor.
Thank you very much.
By Mr. Nado Cooper, Acting Chairman, the Liberian Women Initiative. Mr. Cooper.
Major General honor for Major General Samuel Victor Malu, 4th Commander of ECOMOG, September 1996 to January 1998. The people of Liberia are assembled here today, January 8, 1998, at the Monrovia City Hall through their representatives in the Interfaith Council of Liberia, the Council of Chiefs of Liberia, the Governors Association of Liberia, the interest groups of Liberia, the Liberian Women Initiative, the political parties, and all of civic society to honor you, Major General Samuel Victor Malu, world-class soldier and peacemaker. Initially, during the Liberian civil crisis, you, Major General Malu, came to Liberia to serve as Chief of Staff of ECOMOG when the guns were roaring and Liberians were being maimed and killed by none other than themselves. You helped to restore the calm. You were returned to the Federal Republic of Nigeria for official reassignment. When the guns roared once more, your Commander-in-Chief again called upon you to serve in Liberia, this time as 4th Commander of ECOMOG. This was after the April 6th phase, which was the most horrendous phase of the civil crisis. Major General Malu, you came back to Liberia to implement the disarmament exercise under the Abuja Agreement. With most of the strategic resources required for disarmament not forthcoming, as promised by the international community, you ventured against all odds to provide leadership for a successful disarmament in Liberia. It is essentially this disarmament that constitutes the centerpiece for progress in the drive for democracy and peace in Liberia. In serving as 4th Commander of ECOMOG, you, Major General Malu, exhibited your towering and untiring efforts in Sierra Leone as well, demonstrating concrete manifestation of the position that there can only be peace in the West African sub-region when there is peace in every West African country. Certainly, the history of West Africa, and indeed Africa, must now record that Major General Samuel Victor Malu provided relevant leadership in the irreversible institutionalization of the African sub-regional and regional mechanisms for peacemaking and peacekeeping. Clearly, the record of Major General Malu is a record of service to humanity, and this is precisely what leads the people of Liberia to give you this much-deserved citation of honor. In honoring you, Major General Malu, we remain most grateful to your government and people in particular, and the governments and peoples of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS in general, for having assigned you to work in our dear country. Major General Malu, as you now leave Liberia to become a member of the highest decision-making body of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the people of Liberia extend best wishes to you for your continuous success. May the Almighty Creator of us all bless you and your family. Done this 8th day of January, 1998, in the city of Monrovia, Republic of Liberia. Signed, Reverend Dr. Jeremiah Walker for the Interfaith Council of Liberia, Paramount Chief Jalalun for the Council of Chiefs of Liberia, Mrs. Edwida A. Cooper for the Liberian Women Initiative, Professor Tokbana Tipote for the interest groups of Liberia, Councillor Rudolph E. Sherman for the political parties of Liberia. I thank you.
Let's give ourselves a big hand again, please. We have an induction ceremony. Unfortunately, Paramount Jalalu, Paramount Chief Jalalu, Chairman of the Council of Chiefs of Liberia, is not here present, but he has his designate here. While we get ready for the induction ceremony, we'll have the small town to give one short selection quickly while we get ready for this selection. With the designate, please come forward.
I was brought up, and I was strong, and I was working. We tell you thank you plenty. We, the Liberia people, and Liberia women, and Liberia men, and our children. Me who hold a gun, you come here before everyone is in my room. So when nobody tell you thank you, better learn to do something. Thank you plenty. We telling you today, the God where you said, continue and serve that God. Everywhere you go, the light will shine upon you. The chief, the governor, all the Liberia people, we our children, the women, we put it down on you. They come and I'm not telling you take a common, but I'm beating in the world. They come, how you will love your love girlfriend. Now, how you will love them. Liberia people got you today. Everywhere the fighting war, when you go there, people will go there. Amen. Because you are men who can look back.
Okay, thank you. like Honorable Roosevelt Johnson, Minister of Rural Development, to speak on behalf of the Grand Government.
The Honorary Major General Samuel Victor Malu, platform guests, my fellow Liberians, ladies and gentlemen. This honorary program, I got the information almost about 3:30, and I decided to be here. And I think my being here to this program today should send a message, because everybody in Liberia knows who is Roosevelt Johnson in this country. Many speakers came here and said almost everything. But one of the touching things that is said, and I would like to reiterate to Major General Samuel Victor Malu, is that God gave peace. But sometimes God used people to give peace. And you have been used as an instrument to bring lasting peace to this nation. We say hats off to you and your gallant men. And as the people say, we got nothing to offer you. But the greatest thing to give you is to say thanks, to show thanks and appreciation to you. Because only Jesus Christ laid his life down to save the world. And again, we have seen only our African brothers have laid down their lives to bring peace. And we all know what General Malu did. Most people didn't believe today that we're going to have an elected government. In fact, at the time when disarmament time came, most people were not sure whether disarmament was going to take place. But Major General Samuel Victor Malu, being a brave soldier and a man who was determined to bring lasting peace to Liberia, through the help of God, carry on disarmament successfully. Today, words are inadequate for us to say thank ECOMOG, thank our West African leaders and brothers for the sacrifices that they have made. We cannot pay them for what they have done for us, but God will pay them. In this public manner, we want to extend our apology to all the ECOMOG peacekeepers for whatsoever misunderstanding that we may have had during this process. We sincerely apologize to you because you have done us a great job. We who have been through this process knows what it means for a soldier to sleep in trenches, rain and sun, and to go on a gun sound, and you did all that. Today we have peace. All we can say to you, General Malu, you and your men, may God bless the African solidarity, and may God bless you and continue to give you health and strength. And say to General Sani Abacha that the Liberian people say thank you. That's all we have to say.
Would I call on former Councilman Pastor Kuya?
The gallant men and women of the armed forces of the West African states, the ambassadors, present here today, particularly from Nigeria, other places. The dignitaries of the Liberian government present here today, Reverend Bishop, ladies and gentlemen, today is a wonderful day for all Liberians. Over the years, there have been many trials to bring the Liberian war to an end. Lives were lost, property, but you stood firmly that the purpose for which you were sent here will not remain unattended to and unended. So firmly you stood and you fought gallantly. Today we can say there is peace in Liberia. There is peace in Liberia, but that peace must be managed. There is peace in Liberia, fought for us by our African brothers and sisters, but we Liberians are bound, duty bound, to keep the peace. They are not going to be coming here keeping your peace, keeping my peace. We must keep this peace. Blood was shed for this peace. They left their women, their children, their family to do what they did. General Malu, the civilian people of this country salute you and your people. What you did has marked an indelible print on the minds of the Liberian people. We will never forget it. Now, before I take my seat, I just like to re-emphasize this. Today, we are proud to have peace. Let us be proud to keep the peace. Thank you.
To remind of our statement that he supposed to make.
Malu. When we came here, we forgot to give you this statement. We, the Council of Chiefs of the Republic of Liberia, we are saying that today you are initiated as Council of Chiefs, part of us. So now we are saying goodbye. Thank you.
Let's get our new Parliament Chief a big hand again. Selection, Spontan International.
Flag
We will please stand now to pray for honoring the honor. Just welcome to the podium. Respond. We now call on Major General Victor Malu to respond. Let's have the
Thank you very much. Please be seated. The organizers of this occasion, representing the Interfaith Council of Liberia, the Interest Group of Liberia, the University of Liberia Students' Union, the Liberian Women Initiative, the Council of Chiefs of Liberia, that I'm told I'm now a member. The former chairman, LNTJ, the former chairman, Council of States, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Honorable Minister and my close friend, Roosevelt Johnson. It doesn't do kind to want to have a general these days. My colleagues of the ECOMOG High Command, distinguished Liberians, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm not able to speak coherently, it's because I'm overwhelmed. I am just a soldier. I've been in this service for the past 31 years. And to tell you that it's the first time I've been so honored, we explain why I might not be able to talk coherently. I came to Liberia in June of '92, as the organizers had already explained to you. As the Chief of Staff of the ECOMOG, I was also the Director of Operations. It was at that time, or during that time, that we had the Octopus operation. For the first time of my long years of service,
I stood at a point at Paul River Bridge. I saw what is called refugees in distress. I was wearing dark glasses. For the first time in my remembrance, tears came out of my eyes when I saw displaced Liberians. I couldn't understand. From that day on, I understood why I was sent to this place. I had not been a politician, so I didn't very much know too much about Liberia. In any case, you didn't know too much about Nigeria either. But having come here to serve as an officer at a very high level, and to see how a people, a nice set of people, can go through the type of trauma that you went through, I knew it was absolutely necessary for somebody elsewhere to do whatever it took to help bring peace to this country. Well, we did our best in those days. We were able to save the city of Monrovia despite the effort of the other people to take the government by force. I was confident when I was leaving this place that we had secured at least the city of Monrovia. We had regained the control of Buchanan Port. We had taken over the control of Katata. I'm saying this because some of the people that worked alongside me are here. I'm referring specifically to General Roosevelt Johnson. We did not complete the task before I was made to leave the country on reassignment, just like I'm going now. Throughout my 3 years away from Liberia, there was no single 1 week that I did not get in contact with Liberia to find out how the situation was going. I wrongly assumed that the situation had improved until suddenly we started seeing pictures on the television following the April 6 crisis. I felt very bad that the Monrovia that we had preserved like an egg could be allowed to be destroyed the way it was. Even at this point, I never in my imagination think that I'll ever come back to Liberia, because I was commanding a division in the army, the most active division, so to say, because we had a little bit of war with another country somewhere. And I thought I was doing well, so I never expected I could be moved to come to Liberia. By some stroke of misfortune or fortune, I was posted to this place. So on my arrival here, I came with a wealth of experience of the Liberian crisis. I'm saying this so that when people try to talk about Victor Malu as if I'm a magician, I think one of the reasons is that I had a better knowledge of the crisis in Liberia. I had a better insight of it. I had some part in what had taken place, so I knew where to start. So I'm saying this so that we don't marginalize what my predecessors had done. We were able to achieve peace in Liberia. Thank God for that. It was not just because ECOMOG fought to bring peace. The greatest commendation goes to the people of Liberia. The type of support we received, the type of commendation that kept coming to us. In fact, at times I used to look at myself and wonder whether I'm the same person. Because I never felt we were doing anything extra other than doing my day-to-day job that my government was paying me for. But Liberians showed tremendous support. I want to thank all Liberians for the support they gave to us. If I were to be the laziest man, I think I would have been encouraged to work hard to assist in bringing peace to Liberia. Thank God we have been able to achieve that. Lest I forget before I get into my usual type of talk, I want to thank you for this honor. It's not, I wasn't expecting to come and address so many people. An honor is an honor. If I had 4 people here, I've never been so honored. I owe you people all my respect, and I'll remember this throughout my years of service. I want to take this opportunity to apologize to Liberians that we would have offended in the course of our job. Military job will tell people who are not students of the College of Immaculate Conception. We use the most foul language. That's the language we understand. We are very crude. That's why we are soldiers. So when I talk to you, I talk very bad about Liberians in the passion of my duty. I didn't mean any hatred for Liberians. I have the highest respect for Liberians. On the 19th of July, when the election was taking place, I had the opportunity of visiting almost all the polling centers within the city center of Monrovia. And my admiration and respect for Liberians increased tenfold from that day. I have observed elections in my country, Nigeria, and elsewhere within the sub-region. I have never seen a people that were so disciplined in the conduct of an election like the Liberians. At the end of the election, Mr. President won. No matter about whatever statement anybody has made about ECOMOG assisting anybody. Firstly, we were not in a position to assist anybody. The international community, the international observers were breathing on our neck. We had our reputation at stake, so there was no way we could have assisted anybody to cheat in the election. Ours was to ensure that the elections were made free, fair, and transparent, so that the way we talk good of ECOMOG, I'm happy to have achieved that. As I'm preparing to leave this country in the next 48 hours, I want to tell you, Liberians, that wherever I go, in whatever capacity I'll be, my thoughts, my prayers, my spirit will be with Liberians. I am not going with a very happy mind in the sense that my command as the ECOMOG, with me as the force commander, we did not quite entirely achieve what we had tasked ourselves to achieve. To a large extent, we achieved what the ECOWAS authorities mandated us to do here. But if you have been listening to my bad language, I have been promising Liberia that at the time ECOMOG will be leaving Liberia, we would have made sure that Liberia as a country was much more arms-free than the rest of the member countries of the ECOWAS. And we intended to do that through military operations, not through begging anybody. From from 7th of August, 1997, is that correct? Yes. From 7th of February 1997, when we started embarking on the military operation to recover arms in Liberia, the exercise has been more, the success of the exercise has been more tremendous than we even imagined. The arms we got were much better in shape, in quality, and in serviceability. We had intended to continue with that operation up to the last day we would have been leaving Liberia. Unfortunately, the government of Liberia did not allow us to do this. I am not reporting the government of Liberia to you, but I am trying to say why we did not achieve our target that we had set for you people, the good people of Liberia. We also did not get the opportunity of restructuring the armed forces of Liberia that we had promised to create, that we get the respectability, to get the acceptance of Liberians, whether you came from whichever part of Liberia. I don't like calling tribes. We didn't get that opportunity also. After having spent 7 years in Liberia, we are happy that we have achieved the peace up to this level. My fervent prayers when I'm out of here is that there is good governance for that peace to be maintained. I was particularly happy to hear the Honorable Oscar Quia emphasizing on Liberians being responsible for maintaining peace. Yes,
That is not something anybody from outside can do for you. The people outside, the international community, and especially the government of the United States assisted us in more makers than I can stand here and explain to you. If we had just sat here waiting for manna to fall from heaven, it might not have come down up to now. We got the logistical support that enabled us to achieve the success. We are grateful to those countries. Specifically, we are grateful to the government of the United States, the Netherlands, the German government, the British, the French, the Japanese, for all their support that enabled us to reach this point where we are. We had a mediation committee here that was formed by the ambassadors resident in Liberia. I cannot tell you the effectiveness of what they did or the contribution towards the achievement of peace in Liberia. Unfortunately, Ambassador Malu had just left before my speech, but Ambassador Joshua Eroa, the Nigerian ambassador, is here, who was the chairman of that mediation committee. I have nothing but praises for the committee, the invaluable work. In fact, they spend most of their nights consulting with the Roosevelt Johnson, and the others. So that to have achieved peace in Liberia is not just the effort of the ECOMOG, it's first and foremost the effort of the Liberians who had suffered so much and decided there should be peace. And that peace, we hope and pray to God that whoever is at the leadership will help preserve it. So that we don't go back and start hearing about people disappearing, only their torsos are surfacing with us on vital parts. So on the final note, I want to bid the people of Liberia goodbye, but I want to say that the honor you are giving me today will live with me for as long as I live. I don't think my country will ever honor me this way. If they were to do that, they would have done it in the past, maybe one out of those 31 years. So I owe the people of Liberia my highest gratitude, and I want to say thank you to Liberia, thank you to the President.
General Victor Malu was eventually appointed as Chief of Army Staff in 1999 under the Olusegun Obasanjo government. He held that appointment until his retirement from the army in 2001. General Malu passed away on October 9, 2017 after a prolonged ailment. I have created a link in the description if you would like to buy the book and support the channel. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.